After just over 3 years, I'm about to make this legit. Before we begin the ceremony, I'd like Chris and Rick to turn and face everybody and just take a moment to acknowledge all of you gathered here tonight. Everybody that's traveled from near or far, all the people they love, all the people that love them, and all of the people who are here with us tonight in spirit.
Where's my dad? Where's Pop? There he is!
Okay.
Come on, Gary.
We're all getting ourselves together. Okay, so to begin, I asked Chris and Rick to each choose 5 words they would use to describe each other, but I asked them to do it separately and not show each other and not cheat. So they both sent me their list, but neither one of them has heard them until now. So, Rick, Chris used the words passionate, kind, funny, sincere, my rock, to describe you. Chris, Rick used the words funny, compassionate, loving, supportive, confident to describe you. I think all of these words are beautiful. And I think it's amazing the word they shared was funny. And I agree, they both are 2 of the people in my life I laugh the most with. And watching them make each other laugh is so much fun. And just being with them is so much fun. Except maybe when Rick makes fun of me because I always want to have a glass of wine instead of get my roots done.
All glass?
Chris does not make fun of me yet. I also think it's beautiful that that Chris described Rick as passionate, and Rick described Chris as compassionate. And they're 2 words that complement each other perfectly. And how wonderful to have both passion and compassion as 2 of the most valued parts of your relationship, and to recognize them in one another. Some of the other words, loving, supportive, confident, my rock, made me think of something I've noticed as I've watched their relationship grow and deepen over the years. Both Chris and Rick, since meeting each other, have completely changed not just their personal lives, but their professional lives. Both of them walked away from very successful careers that were stable and safe and secure, and chose to start a journey on a totally unknown path. And I think that requires a great amount of bravery. And I don't think it's an accident that it happened while they were together. I think their love and support for each other gave them the freedom to challenge adventures. And as far as I can tell, neither one of them has ever been happier with the work they're doing than right now. I believe they inspire each other to take risks, to follow their hearts, to be happy, and in general do whatever it takes to be the best, most fulfilled versions of themselves they can be. And I cannot think of a better definition of love. Chris and Rick have chosen to write their own vows and they'd like to share them with us right now. Chris, you're up.
Michelle Key.
Party in your room.
Party? Throw in the bowl! Rick, you are my best friend. You give me the safest space I have ever known. You encourage and support me. You make me smile every day. And I will do the same for you. I will stand beside you through life, lift you up every chance I get. And I will proudly be your partner, your rock, and your husband all the days of my life. I will always be here for you, with you, and by you. This is a testament to you, everyone in my life, and to who I am at 47 years old, that I have never been happier or more fulfilled in my entire life. I love you, Rick.
Rick?
Mic drop.
You are everything I did not know I was looking for. I'm incredibly grateful that I found. The moment we met, I felt that you were familiar. You were home. And a part of me knew it would be forever. I love your smile, your eyes, your heart, even your cat. I vow to care for you always, to support and encourage you daily, and to love you every day, even when I don't like you. Life will no doubt have its ups and downs, and I may not always be there to catch you when you fall, but I promise to always be there to you. I love you, Chris. My favorite, my best friend, my forever, my husband.
Okay. Can you please join hands? Chris, repeat after me. I, Chris,
I, Chris,
promise to take you, Rick,
promise to take you, Rick,
for better and for worse,
for better and for worse,
for richer and for poor,
for richer and for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
sickness and in health,
for all the days of our lives.
for all the days of our life.
Rick, please repeat after me. I, Rick,
I
promise to take you, Chris,
promise to take you, Chris,
for better and for worse,
for better and for worse,
for richer and for poorer,
richer and for poorer,
in sickness and in health, for all the days of our lives.
all the days of our life.
Okay, Kathy, may I please have the ring? Thank you. Do you, Chris, take Rick to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
Do you, Rick, take Chris to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
Okay. By the power vested in me by the Universal Life Church, I pronounce you married.
I thought I'd start off with a poem, just to get things off the right track. Chris has never heard one of my poems before, right? Yeah.
Many.
'Twas the night of the wedding, and here we all are. Some came by airplane and some came by car. Neckties are knotted, dresses tied up with bows, and the open bar guaranteed that we'd all show. The children were left home, asleep in their bunk. Their mothers and fathers were all getting drunk. I'm overwhelmed by this place that we are. I have no idea where I am because I passed out in the car. When out on the vineyard, there arose such a clatter. After a stop at the bar, I'll go out and see what's the matter. With a drink in my hand, I strolled toward the noise and found out the commotion was only noise. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow. What that line means, I really don't know. But now I digress from what I came here to say. Two guys that got married, and I think they're gay. But I am never one to judge. I don't really care. One's in the theater and plays with his hair. But he acts like a lumberjack compared to groom number 2. But I'm never to judge. I'll leave that up to you. Now parents, now friends, now brothers and sisters, you've come to witness this marriage of two misters. Down the aisle they marched and vows they were exchanged. Brimble without a cocktail, which I thought was sort of strange.
I got 2.
And without any prodding, I do, they both said. Through good, bad, and ugly, together till you're dead. But no need to worry, because I thought it'd be nice to share with you now some of Craig's marriage advice. When Rick comes home late from a day of weeds and dews, after 6 martinis and Brimbles hit the booze, there's a pile of dirty clothes Rick threw on the floor, after 6 martinis and Brimbles going back for more. When Rick gets old and chubby, a jolly old queen, and after 6 martinis and Brimbles getting mean. You both get my point. Some battles you can't win. After 6 martinis and Brimbles 3 sheets to the wind. You get the point, yeah. At times it won't be easy. Relationships are hard. After 6 martinis and Brimbles passed out in the yard. But now I'm out of time, so my advice, it must wait. You're on your own. It's now left up to fate. And I'll end my poem now. The story's growing long. Just one last thing to say, and then we all can move on. I've just been poking fun, though every word is true. Congratulations, boys. I love both of you.
Yeah, girl. Get it.
All right. So I get the honor of introducing our speakers tonight. And this first gentleman to speak needs no introduction at all, but that's what I'm here for, so I'm going to anyway. This is the one and only guy that Chris calls Dad. Let's hear it for Mr. Gary Brimble Sr.
Well, listen, thank you all. I sound like I'm from the South. Thank everybody for coming. With a group of friends like he has gathered here, and family, which has just been added by a whole bunch. I welcome you all. You can't go wrong when you have good family behind you, good friends behind you. As Craig just said, they have been friends a long time. And to retain a friendship that long is amazing. From 2 amazing guys. I wish you the best of everything. You know I love you both. We love you. All right.
our next speakers are Rick's mom and dad, Rich Corrado and Kathleen Hoffman.
I'm really not a good speaker, so bear with me here. Will you? Oh, I don't like. Okay, all right. I'm just prolonging it. These are just some things that Rick and I do together. I'll get through this. Okay. These are just a few things that were really special to me as Rick's mom. First of all, I met Ricky October 19th, 1976.
Birthday tomorrow.
Tomorrow! And I'm really proud of Rick. He fought through a lot of stigma and adversity of being gay, but yet he found his niche. These two guys grew up very close together geographically, but it took them thousands of miles to meet each other. So they were really meant to be together. So I wanted to tell you that I know you all know how Rick is. And if there was one song that I would say is Rick's life, it would be called I Did It My Way.
Now it's our way.
Yeah. It was always Rick's way. Watch out, Chris. At 9 years old, Rick went into a jeweler's and said, I want to buy my mom a ring. And the jeweler said, all right, yeah. But the jeweler made a deal with him, and he said, if you come every week and pay me something, you can buy your mom a ring. Can you imagine how I felt when my 9-year-old son came in and gave me a ring that he bought at the jeweler's? It's just an unbelievable feeling that no matter what he did or how hard sometimes things were, he just always came through. Another time, I only have a couple more. Okay. Rick came in and handed me a cassette tape. And it was Celine Dion's Because You Love Me. And to this day, every time I hear that song, I cry. And then, one Mother's Day, Rick comes in with this gigantic picture frame. It has about 25, 30 pictures in it. I couldn't wait to see all the pictures. And then there's a picture of Rick, another picture of Rick, another picture of Rick, 30 pictures of Rick.
Kathy, I got the same gift.
You got the same gift? Wasn't it amazing? But that's what you would expect from Rick. So in closing, I'd just like to say, take care of one another and always be there for one another. Always be honest. Don't go to bed mad. I love you both so much.
Bring it on. I'm Rich Corrado. I'm Rick's dad. He asked me if I could say a few nice things about him tonight. And I'll be damned, I couldn't find anything. Now, Rick is the second of our 4 children, but he was by far the most difficult growing up. As Kathy said, Rick had a mind of his own, and he did things his way. He never cared what others may think. I just remembered one time I had to punish Rick, and I smacked his butt. Shortly after that, there was a knock at our front door. It was the Haverford police. They told me they had a call about child abuse. Luckily, I knew one of the officers and explained what happened, and everything was okay. And then I remember when Rick started playing t-ball. And I had to work in Iceland at the time for about 6 weeks. And I received a letter saying Rick played his first game and had 3 hits. It was great. A few days later, I got another letter saying Rick had 2 hits in his next game. I was really getting excited and couldn't wait to get home to see him play. A few days later, I got another letter that said Rick quit t-ball. He told me he loved to hit, but was bored in the field. He didn't want to do it anymore. If he enjoys something, he'll put everything into it. But if he doesn't, forget it. Lastly, when he was about 10 years old, Rick used to put shows on in our basement. And he told me then, someday I'm going to be an actor on Broadway. He said, if I don't make it by I'm 30 years old as an actor, I'm going to do something on Broadway, but I'm going to be there. And you fulfilled your dreams. After meeting Chris and his family, I said, you guys will be great companions through life. I'm so happy for you. Chris is personable and funny, and maybe if people who know me, funny means a lot to me. He has been a big hit with our family. And Rick, you just got a great guy there. I'm so happy for both of you, and I wish you both the best.
So growing up, Chris was the baby of the family. And as many of you with older siblings can attest to, last born is first most done. So Brimby was no exception to this rule, and I was asking him one time just recently about, tell me a story about, growing up in your household, and I just lost my place. And this is the story he told us about one of these 2 very important people in his life was, he remembered being ambushed by little Gary, who might have pulled a pillowcase over his head and either chose to tickle him or fart on him. Next up are Chris's brother and sister, Gary Jr. and Michelle.
Okay, well, kind of a common thread, it seems like. I had the same beginning as Rick's father, Rich, had. We had been approached and asked to say a few words about Chris and Rick, and I said, well, I'm sure I could make something up, and yeah, we could make up something to make you seem like a good person. But anyway, seriously, anyone that has ever come across either one of these 2 individuals separately, anyone in this room knows what kind of person or people they are. And 2 amazing individuals, and collectively as a union, even more amazing. I couldn't be more proud of either one of them. I was always the oldest, but I always looked up to Chris, and he might not know that, but I'll say that right now. And yeah. I love him. I love Rick. I'm happy to be here, and I love you all. So?
And I'm just saying I love you, and I'm glad you're part of our family, Rick. Thank you.
So I asked the same question of Rick. Tell me a little story about your growing up. And I didn't get one, but I got a little blurb back from one of the siblings. Apparently he shared a room with his little brother Mike. And as older brothers do, they dominate their influence over, they take over the room, right? So apparently Rick would decorate the entire room with Madonna everything and just leave a little tiny spot in the corner for Mike to have his decorations and what he wanted.
Mike, how big was that spot?
It wasn't really there. He thought it was. Yeah.
That big, in an entire room.
What's that? It is right now. Please welcome Rick's siblings, Anthony, Mike, and Kathy.
Hello. All right. I'm getting so choked up. Rick and I weren't the best friends growing up, even though we should have been, all things considered. But even back then, I knew that he would be successful at whatever path he created. His winning streak continued today as we welcome Chris into our family. I do. I got a little something. Sorry. This past May, my wife, Lavana, and my son, Decker, and I went to California, and it was there that we had a real opportunity to get to know Chris and hang out with Rick for more than just a few minutes during one of his very rare East Coast visits. Most of you here already know Chris and know how awesome he is. And the fact that he makes my baby brother so happy makes him even better. I'm so happy for you both, and I'm so happy to finally have an older brother. Thank you. I love you, brother.
Okay. Everybody's been so nice to them. I'm not going to be so nice. Let's have a little fun. Come on now. Here we go. Hi, I'm Rick's younger brother, Mike. The younger, hot, straight version of Rick. That's me. Yes. Well, what can I say? Handsome, smart, passionate, self-made pro, living your dreams, good looking. But enough about me. Let's talk about Rick. Yes, of course you are all of those things. You got my looks for sure. But I would like to let the people in this room know a little bit more about the younger Rick Corrado. I shared a room with older brother Rick from birth to 17 years old. And I never had, is the mic working? I feel like it's going in and out. All right, I'm cool. I don't sing professionally. Anyway, the good news is I live to tell about it. I'll share a few quick highlights since I only have 1 minute. Thanks, Rick. I could only do an hour. I could actually do about an hour on this. All right, so here we go. Since there are many performers and showbiz folks in the house, I will perform 3 very short scenes as Rick and Mike in our bedroom at 1304 Rose Tree Lane in Havertown. This is like the 80s, late 80s. All right. Scene 1, moving the furniture. Hey, Rick, why are we always moving the furniture, man? Shut up, Mike. I'm moving the furniture because I like to, and plus, I need my dance space.
I don't see the problem.
Scene 2, Mike's creaky bed. What are you doing? It's my bed, Rick. It's just really creaky. Well, I'm going to count to 10, and when I get to 10, if I hear one more, you're dead. 8, 9, 10. You're dead. I was dead. The other one, real quick, because the posters were already brought up. Yes, Rick had Madonna and Janet Jackson and whatever else was all the 80s pop stars. Yeah, great. Yeah, well, you know, I got one Mike Schmidt poster in the bottom left-hand corner of one of the 4 walls. And Anthony's whole room was covered in heavy metal posters, including the ceiling. And I got nothing. The last scene I want to do is called The Bunk Bed. Hey, Rick, how come you're always on the top bunk? Shut up, Mike. You know what? Fine. Go up on the top bunk. Go. Great, I'm up at the top. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, this is so great. Here, I'm going to take this sheet because it looks like you need a sheet. And I'm going to, hey, stop, you're wrapping it around my leg. Yes, and now I'm going to put you upside down. And now you're hanging from the top bunk. No, get me out of here. Bye, I'm leaving. I have to get my hair colored. Rick had a different hair color every week. Anyway, the rest I'm going to improvise. Back in the day, we used to all do the CYO show, and everybody was dancing and singing. I was the only one who didn't do it. And now, what I do for a living is perform on stage, and I really think a lot of it had to do with you. I really do, man. And of course, this guy right here. Both my brothers. But Chris, you're the one who gets to share a room with him now forever, man. All right? And I love you. I love your family. Everybody's super cool. We couldn't have asked for anybody in the whole freaking world that'd be any better than you. You're the man. And guess what? One more thing. Make sure he has enough freaking dance space, okay?
For those of you that didn't hear, Rick said, "You are such a jackass." Hi, everyone. I am Kathy. I am Rick's favorite sister. Okay, so I planned on saying a few words about some of my childhood memories with little Ricky. That's what he was called. But then I realized they could be described using one word: Madonna. You see, there were Madonna posters and books and songs, concerts, reminders of Madonna's birthday. August 16th, anyone? Then Mike and Tony's daughter was born on Madonna's birthday. Oh, right. He was Madonna for Halloween every year, and he was even part of the Madonna fan club. Maybe he ran it. I don't know. Rick Corrado is one of a kind. In grade school, he taught me how to be a California raisin on stage. Yeah. We wore trash bags and sang "I Heard It Through the Grapevine" in front of so many people. Yeah. He taught me that even 10-year-olds are capable of having a perfectly clean bedroom that was rearranged on a weekly basis. He literally put Pottery Barn to shame at 10 years old. In middle school, Rick taught me that MTV was the best channel ever. Being the fourth child, I literally had no say in what we watched. In high school, Rick taught me that if I saved my money, I could buy hair dye in boxes. He definitely had every hair color in the book, as Mike mentioned. In college, he and Jody sent me huge boxes of goodies, and Rick would send me letters, and he always let me know he was thinking of me. Rick, thank you for always being true to yourself, for confiding in me, and for loving me unconditionally. Thank you for being the best uncle to our boys, and for being the best godfather to Shane. Thank you for setting a good example of what true friendship really is. That table right there, that's 30 years of friendship. Thank you for telling me that I'm beautiful, even when I don't feel it. After C-sections and breastfeeding and being in the throes of it, he was like, "You look beautiful," and I'm like, oh. Thank you for telling me I'm a fantastic mother, even on days when I feel completely exhausted. Thank you for teaching me to work hard and to never give up. And thank you for bringing this beautiful man into our lives. Uncle Chris, our family welcomes you with open arms. Thank you for loving my brother. That's actually written right here, and I didn't say it. Thank you for making Rick the happiest I have ever seen him in his entire life. Marriage is so fun. It is so challenging, but it's perfect all in one, I promise you. May you have 1,000,000 years together, and I want you to know, Rich and I love you both more than Rick loves Madonna.
Yes. Oh, there we go. And then we're back on track.
Oh, Rick, all I can say is for just about 25 years, I was always the favorite brother-in-law. Or, sorry, son-in-law. And I knew this day would always come. And I could see it's tough. It's a tough one. No, it's a tough one, but I'm willing to accept the challenge. Salut, everybody. We love you.
So prior to Rick being in Chris's life, this next group of lovely ladies was affectionately known as the Sister Wives. But we knew that Rick was going to fit right in when he renamed them the Coven. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Heather, Ann, Michelle, and Jen.
The Coven.
According to your videographer.
Right. He's great.
Ass
He's good.
shot. A little poem for you. Chris,
I've laughed with you nonstop since Jefferson, 6th grade. How many crazy times and treasured memories we have made. I love your family as my own, and your friends are super fun. My boys are very lucky to now have 2 uncles, not just one. Chris, I am honored to be your first wife and wish you and Rick the very, very, very best in life.
So in 1998, I was working in Boulder, Colorado, when this really well-dressed guy walks in and introduces himself as a new coworker and proceeded to absolutely charm the pants off one of my colleagues to the point that she announced the next day, "I think Chris Brimble likes me." To which I replied, "I think Chris Brimble's gay." Here we are today.
You were right.
Chris and I have now lived apart longer than we've lived in the same city, but I think it might be the reason we've also both managed to stay unscathed without a criminal record. Fast forward to about 3 years ago, we all came here to Pennsylvania to celebrate Chris's birthday and what I like to call the Brimble Fall Festival. Chris was just starting to chat with this guy online. Rick. And he was a little bit giddy about it. Like, that's not normally Brimble. He's like, I'm dating someone, blah, blah, blah. Now we're so proud to be here with the 2 of you today. Rick, I couldn't have wished for a better partner for Chris. I knew you were a wonderful fit for him when you've so good-naturedly embraced all of us into your life. But I really, really knew you were the one when I watched you support him and the entire Brimble family through Anne Marie's passing last December. Watching you love him through that solidified what we all knew. You're it. So thank you for tolerating us, mostly me, but us.
Mostly.
Yeah, duh. And loving him as much as you do. I love you both. And I'm so, so thrilled to be here to witness and celebrate the next step in your journey together with you today.
Chris and I met in a Detroit airport hotel bar almost 13 years ago. It sounds seedy, but it was actually for work. And immediately I knew that this was going to be fun. I quickly realized that whether it was work, social, or anything in between, everything was better when Chris was around. He was my partner in crime and work husband for almost 10 years, and I got spoiled with that kind of coworker who can even cure the hiccups. Of course, quickly we did become more than coworkers, friends, confidants, and eventually neighbors. Everything was always better when Chris was around. Not surprisingly, everyone else I met through Chris added fun, interest, and vitality to whatever was going on, including many of you here tonight. When I first heard about Rick, I knew he must be the one, mostly because he drove a dirty Prius. And as I got to know him, and Chris with him, I realized that they make each other and those around them better. We thank you for that. And I can't wait for what's to come and watching your married life continue to get better together.
So clearly there's a bunch of wordsmiths here tonight, and of course I'm like number 3 on the poem list, but here comes the poem. So, much like Heather, it was as coworkers that we met, Chris and I, and we realized we were cut from a similar rug. We wreaked optimistic havoc all over our company, and we totally forced the socially awkward to give us hugs. They say good friends let you into their lives, and great friends let you into their own. Well, Chris, that was you for me. You've always loved and encouraged me to be all of who I am, and in creating a relationship I love, that was truly the key. And your encouragement is one of my favorite things about you, but it's your paradox that most brings me in. You're funny but sarcastic, you're loving but kind, and you're authentic from bones to skin. To Gary Sr., I say congrats, fine sir. You and Anne-Marie have done a good job helping him demonstrate such great gentlemanness. You've modeled compassion, you've modeled kindness, and you've brought those qualities to the world in Chris. And to Rick, our sister husband, who may or may not have known or been warned that you came with yours truly. With Chris, we are tight, be it wrong or right, and adding you to that mix completes our chosen family. So a family complete with Big Sweet Mo. It's hard to say what the future will bring, but a foundation of love in a circle like this was anchored today when you exchanged your rings. So salute to you both on your wedding day as the blessings rain down from above. With your family by your side and your friends along for the ride, may your hearts simply marinate in love.
I love you. Thanks for bringing my pop into that.
Two of the most important people in my life. That's how Rick described the next presentation. And it was going to be a duet, but one of them's a little emotional and didn't think she could make it through it. I don't know who that would be. So we have a solo performance tonight. Please welcome Rachel to the stage.
Rachel! Where's the mic? Where's the mic? There we go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel. Hi. I am so happy to be here. Is this not the best night? Also, I'm a professional hype man. Just kidding. Just kidding. Whew. This is awesome. Picture it. Havertown, 1988-ish. I was just starting the 7th grade at Haverford. Richard Anthony Corrado Jr. sat in front of me in homeroom. In that moment, 30 years ago, I made a forever friend. Also, Richard likes to remember that, like, he turned around at his desk and said, "Hey, Rach, how you doing?" And I was like, "Shut up, turn around, dork." Which sounds kind of like how he spoke to Mike in their bedroom. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's made up, I'm just saying. I have so many hilariously lame memories of what Rick and I used to do as young teenagers. Part of me is very happy there were no smartphones back then, but part of me is a little sad because I could have been the person who discovered Rick Corrado. One time, Ricky and I had decided to reenact our version of the Grammy Awards in his basement. More like Ricky decided we were going to hold the Grammys in his dad's basement, and I was all about it. After all, I got to absolutely slaughter Vision of Love by Mariah Carey. Woo! Ricky, in all of his 13-year-old glory, was who else but the material girl herself, Madonna. I don't remember him having the lace glove, but looking back, he definitely should have. I also very weirdly remember us being very serious about our stage construction that was literally a curtain and a curtain rod. Like, that was all it was. I may not remember who was involved or all of the things we performed, but I do remember two things. One, that Ricky was and is an amazing singer. And two, the look of horror on his brother Anthony's face when he saw what we were doing. Special shout out to Rich for always putting up with our antics and reluctantly watching our performances. Hey, Rich! Hey, Rich! Well, I would love to see those videos today. Thank goodness there was no YouTube. Ooh. I'm sorry. I'm a little shaky. Ricky and I talked about everything, made fun of everything, and no matter what, we always had each other's backs. When Ricky left Haverford for O'Hara, I was sad, but I understood. This is when he sat me down to have a very serious talk with me. He said, "Rach, I need you to stop calling me Ricky. It's Rick now." I was devastated, but happy to bring it out of retirement for this speech. Rick went on to make some fabulous friends at O'Hara, one of which became like a sister to me. Jody, Rick, and I became inseparable at times. We were a family. Jody and Rick worked at West Coast Video, which was a few stores down from the bakery where I worked. I know, video stores, right? What's that? Donuts for Movies worked all the time. We karaoke'd weekly at a bar with a bunch of people who we thought were so old at the time, but quite frankly, we're probably that age right now. We grabbed our friends to drink sodas and sing Love Shack. We have loved each other purely and wholeheartedly ever since. Over the years, one thing is certain, my friendship with Rick feels like home. No matter how long you've been away, when you are there, it's like no time passed at all. You feel a sense of comfort you don't feel everywhere. Chris! Oh, I adore you. I adore you. I know we're just finally meeting for the first time in person today. That's disgusting, but okay. I know you are amazing. I know you are considerate. I know you are caring. I know you are funny. I know you are smart. I know you are quirky. And of course, I know you are handsome. I know these things because A, I have eyes, and B, I have never seen Rick this happy. I can never fully express how deeply grateful I am to you for bringing so much love to his life. You both deserve the love you have found in each other. To close things out, I've written a poem to celebrate your marriage. It goes a little something like this. On this day, my forever Ricky marries his best friend Chris. I'm here to support you as always, as you get your forever wish. As you start your new lives as husband and husband, may your heart be full for the rest of your bluzband. Guys, nothing rhymes with husband. May you bring each other as much happiness as you have brought to each and every one of us. I love you both.
And that concludes the speech portion of the evening.
Oh, gosh. Whoa. Is Craig something else? No.
All right, let's give it up for our grooms. All right, we actually have one more special surprise. She couldn't be here with us because she lives in Australia. You can play.
To the lovely, lovely Chris and my amazing, darling best friend Rick, words cannot express how genuinely thrilled we are that you both have tied the knot officially today. Oh my goodness, yay. I'm so sorry we can't be there. Sadly, the birth of our second child has prevented us to be there in the flesh, but we are there in spirit and raising a glass or two to you right now, despite the time difference. Who doesn't love a cheeky drink at 9 a.m.? I just wanted to let you know that we love you, we are thinking of you. Socrates once said that true love is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. And I think that you guys have, in true Jerry Maguire style, found each other and completed each other. So kudos. We could not be more thrilled. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please raise a glass on behalf of the absent Aussies, who are very much there in spirit, to this wonderful, wonderful couple. We love you and we wish you a world of happiness. So much love from Sydney, Australia. Mickey, Oscar, Vivian, and Dwan. We love you.
Cheers, everybody.
All right, with that, everybody sit back, relax, finish dinner, and dancing will be up.